Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, I've bought a lot of historical romances recently, and I haven't done a really great job at actually focusing and reading historical romances. To be honest, I don't even know what I have been reading in the past months or so since I bought these books because I really want to read these books. I just don't know why I'm not having the time to kind of concentrate and sit down and actually put myself into the position of reading these books. But hopefully by making this video, I can convince myself to read these books sooner and hopefully introduce new titles to you that you haven't heard before. So the first book that I want to recommend to you to read, or a book that I haven't read yet that I want to read, is this one from Valerie Bowman, and this one's called The Duke Deal, and it's part of her The Witmorland series. And this is a new series that she's publishing independently on Amazon, and I really like Valerie Bowman's independently published books. Like, I feel like her books are more fun, they're shorter, they're unconventional, they're interesting, and they're dynamic. So I've always kept my eyes open for Valerie Bowman's books, and I'm excited to pick this one up. This one's the first book in her series. This one's actually kind of like a holiday Christmas themed series because this one involves a second chance romance between our hero and heroine who have to see each other again after 2 years of separation. Essentially, they were married, they were happily in love, and then what happened was that she felt she was betrayed by her husband, and so she fled the countryside and she went her separate ways until it's her great grandfather's dying wish for them to be together again during Christmas time. Do they have to see each other again? Our hero did something in the past and now he needs to kind of make up for it. I'm not sure if he did something that was kind of miscommunicated or not, or if he actually did something and there needs to be groveling. We don't know. But now there's like a lot of emotions involved because our heroine still loves him, but our heroine is also deeply hurt by him too as well. I expect this book to be really fun, and it's quite short, and I can't wait to pick up the other books in the series as well. So the next book that I want to read is, yes, this one from Lorraine Heath. This one's called The Counterfeit Scoundrel, and I haven't read the Lorraine Heath novel yet. I feel like everybody and their moms probably read this book yet, and here I am sitting on it and waiting for like the next book to come out, because I find myself, if I read too quickly of Lorraine Heath's novels, then I have nothing else to read, and that makes me really sad. So that's my only excuse. But this one involves our heroine, who is actually a sleuth, and she is there, you know, looking for clues, looking for evidence that her client's wife has been cheating on her husband. And it's there where she bumps into our hero, who quickly realizes that our heroine is not a maid and our heroine is undercover. And it's there where they're kind of tied up into this like cat and mouse game. I think that this one's going to be super fun and super complex in certain ways because all Lorraine Heath books are like that. So I can't wait to read it, and I can't wait to tell you my thoughts. So the next book I have is this one from Vivian Lorette. Now, I really like Vivian Lorette's books. Like, I feel like, yes, there are some hits and yes, there are some misses, but for the majority of the time, I enjoy her books and I always keep my eyes peeled for new books that she has published, and I always end up buying it. So this one's part of her The Mating Habits of Scoundrels series, which I enjoy too as well, and this one's called Never Seduce a Duke. And I thought that this book seemed very playful, seemed very fun. It involves our heroine who is just kind of like having fun at the party, but she's not really having that much fun anymore, so she kind of goes out and ventures out herself. She's taking a tour of the grounds without anybody kind of watching her, and she bumps into our hero, and they have this really great conversation. There's this connection that they have between each other, but then what ends up happening after that meet cute is that a precious family heirloom has now disappeared, and our hero thinks our heroine did it, and our heroine, you know, stole the heirloom. So now he is accusing her, and obviously they are not friends anymore, and there are enemies to lovers, and now she has to prove her innocence. But I'm sure that both of them will work together to try to solve who actually stole this heirloom. And I think this one's going to be really fun because I always love like the, not like a miscommunication trope, but more of a he said, she said thing situation, and he's blaming her, and then he realizes that she's innocent all along. I just love that. So the next book that I have is this one where it is a Cinderella retelling. This one's from Eva Devon, and this one's called The Duke's Secret Cinderella. It's part of her Never a Wallflower series. I don't know if I read the first couple books. I actually don't know. but I always buy her books because the ones that she publishes with Entangled Romances is this one, and it looks very pretty. It looks very gorgeous. So this one is a Cinderella retelling. It involves our heroine who is not a lady. She's lower class society, but she lies to our hero and says that she is a lady, but she's not, and they share a kiss. It just ignites this passion and these emotions within him that he never knew he had. And what ends up happening is that he is threatened to not receive a portion of his inheritance by his grandmother if he doesn't wed. And the only person that he is ever interested in was this mysterious woman that kind of kissed him and fled. So he is on the hunt now for our heroine, and our heroine can't be found because she lied. So the next book that I have is this one called Yours Truly, the Duke by Amelia Gray, and it's part of her Say I Do series. I don't know if this is the first book in her series or not, but essentially what happens is a marriage of convenience trope once again. Our heroine needs a husband very quickly because she's taking care of her 3 nieces and nephews, and she needs a husband because someone is gonna come and like take over the children and pretend it's theirs. She needs someone to marry because essentially a faraway cousin wants to gain custody of the children, so she thinks a husband would help. And then our hero needs to marry very quickly because he will lose his inheritance if he doesn't find a wife soon. So they both kind of join in this like marriage of convenience. Hopefully they can go their separate ways, but obviously they're going to be entangled with each other's lives, and obviously they're going to fall in love. So the next book that I have is this one called The Portrait of a Duchess by Scarlett Peckham, and I've seen really bad reviews of this book. I don't have high hopes for it, but I'm interested by it because of like the artwork. Essentially our heroine is a painter, and she's radical, she's supportive of female rights, and she really wants to kind of step it up a notch. The only way that she can step it up a notch is to gain her inheritance, and in order to gain her inheritance she needs to be married. But unfortunately for her, or fortunately for her, she's already married, and she's married to this guy who has broken her heart and betrayed her in the past, and now they have to kind of be together once again because our hero needs this marriage too as well, so that he can also take a leg up in his career and also fight for women's rights. So they're both kind of like on the same page, but not, because they have past bad emotions towards each other, and I can't wait to see how this one plays out. So the next book that I have is this one from Sophie Jordan. This one's called The Scandalous Ladies of London series, and this one is like very different from other Sophie Jordan novels and different from other historical romances that I've seen so far. This one involves older women. So our heroine is actually a mother, and then her daughter is going to kind of like be stepping out into the season and introducing herself. Our mother, which is our heroine, ends up falling in love with her daughter's pursuer, like the person that wants to court her daughter. So she ends up falling in love with him. And I don't know how this is going to play out. I actually read like the first like 5 chapters of this book. I really like the chemistry between our heroine and her daughter's like courter, which is the hero. But like the thing is that like, I don't know, like I feel like it's too toxic. So I'll finish the book and I'll report back to you guys if I liked it or not. The rating so far on this book is not that high, so I don't know. I really don't know, guys. So the last book that I want to talk about is this one that's actually for our May pick for our Blushing Blue Stocking Society's book club that I host with Rachel from Rachel Read and Sings. This one's called A Rogue's Rules for Seduction. It's part of her Last Chance Scoundrel series, and it's by Eva Leigh. This book is a second chance romance between our 2 characters. Our 2 characters were actually, getting ready to get married. They were literally at the wedding, and then what happened is our hero bolted because our hero felt that he didn't deserve our heroine, and our heroine would have been happier with somebody else with higher status, with more money, whatever. And they're just in shambles, man. Like, they just don't have the best life that they have. Our heroine's determined to kind of get over him and to not think about him anymore. So she has been kind of living separately from outside the city for a very long time. And it's until they're both invited to this like house party. Do they stay at like the same lodgings? Do they meet each other again? And things get very awkward. So I haven't read this book yet, and today's the live show. I don't know when I'm uploading this video, but just know that I am very late in reading this book, but I can finish it before the live show. But anyways, that is it for all the historical romances that are on my TBR that I have to read very soon. Hopefully you guys have some new books to add to your TBR too as well. And I'll see you guys again next time in a new one. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see my thoughts on these books in videos in the future. Bye guys.